There's not much we can do to help Gramps from the air. I wonder if there isn't a way to land on that island and get to Blucher's ship that way. And then it hit me. Look at this! This is the Dropship, a ship my father designed years ago, especially for landings in rough atmospheres. If we use this, we should be able to land on Forbidden Island. Gramps always told me to never build a dropship, but still. This is an emergency, I know he'll understand. Right, Mega Man? First though, we need to go to a junk shop to get some parts to build it. Let's go, Mega Man. I mean, I'm pretty sure the only reason he would have told you to not build a dropship is purely so that you don't get tempted to do something really dangerous with it. Alright, hey everyone, and welcome back to Mega Man Legends 2, where today we have landed on the island of Yosyonke. Well, specifically, no, I need to be outside the ship to actually see the proper map. I think this is the island of Kalinka and the town of Yosyonke. Let me actually double check that. I care enough. It's not gonna actually let me see, is it? Oh no, it says right there at the bottom. Well, yeah, we're on Kalinka. Before we get searching around Yosyonke to find the junk shop, I do want to go grab a few things on the Flutter and read up on some lore here. Let's see. First off, in Mega Man's room, it's empty. We found 1,000 zenny. Haven't had much time to read lately. Unfortunate. We've got a cactus. Looking at this cactus is strangely relaxing. I'm pretty sure that was Data's cactus. Things have been so busy lately, there hasn't been much time to sleep. Mega Man, have you just been not sleeping at all? This is one of my favorite paintings, although it's hard to say why I like it. It looks pretty. Looks like a mountain in the middle of the ocean. This antique clock is broken and doesn't chime anymore. Well, that's a shame. And it's not a good idea to leave the oil on the floor. Someone might trip on it. Yeah, that's... Why is... I guess it's almost in the corner, so it's a little out of the way. Next up, Roll's room. There's a few things to check out in here. No items, but we can at least find some lore. What's this picture supposed to be? Sometimes it's hard to understand Roll's taste. Looks like two children in a field? Roll would probably get angry if somebody else opened her dresser. Yeah, let's not do that. That would be very disrespectful. I was more curious about the stuff on top, but... We have Roll's diary! Unlike the first game, we can actually read it. Could you read it in the I'm pretty sure you could not read it in the first game. I'm pretty sure you got in trouble for that. Anyways, Roll's diary, as we progress through the game, will get more and more entries in it. So we can check it out every now and then and see what she thinks about the events that have been happening. And the entries in these diaries will change depending on our own actions, which is a neat little detail. First up, fire. Thanks to Data, the kitchen and the Flutter caught fire. Luckily, Mega Man was able to put it out before it did too much damage. Thanks, Mega Man. And of course, if you fail to put it out in time and the sprinklers activate, it'll be a little bit, less optimistic. Alright, can't get anything out of the couch. Roll's bed looks very comfortable. It almost makes you want to take a nap. Roll uses this lamp to read before going to sleep. Can't put on makeup without a mirror. And finally, the wardrobe. Roll loves to wear red clothing. Good for her. Alright, the diary was the only really important thing in there. But I'm being thorough. Next up is Barrel Casket's room. Grandfather, Grandpa. And he's got a few things in here actually. Starting from the left, we have... The professor uses this to explain many of his ideas about digging. We have the lower shelf. There are lots of files dealing with the professor's research on this shelf. We can get caught up on current game information, backstory, the previous game, and just a general guide. Let's start from the top. Forbidden Island 1. Forbidden Island 1. This is the report of my and Blucher's expedition to Forbidden Island. The first problem we faced was the difficulty in approaching the island. Any conventional ship gets turned away by the winds. Attempting to force a ship into the storm surrounding the island almost certainly results in that ship's destruction. In a worst-case situation, a ship could become lost in the storm and never be seen again. We discovered that there is an eye directly above the center of the island. Where the wind velocity is relatively light, any ship attempting to land on the island would have to use this as its entry point. We decided to design a ship with a rounded aerodynamic hull that was reinforced to withstand the atmospheric pressure above the island. Apologies, for some reason my throat decided to close up on me. This happens every now and then, just when I read too much, my throat just says, no, you're not breathing anymore. I'm fine, I promise. I just needed to take a quick break. May need to take more breaks since it's happening so soon. But in spite of all of our efforts and precautions, we failed. Although we were able to land on the island, our ship was destroyed, leaving us without a means of returning home. Continued in Forbidden Island 2. Alright, Forbidden Island 2. Forbidden Island 2. Since we could not leave, we decided to make the best of the situation and explore Forbidden Island as best we could. We were shocked to find that here, Reaverbots were active even above ground. Having lost most of our equipment, we were hard-pressed to fend off their attacks. Struggling against both Reaverbots and the weather, we made our way to the center of the island, where we found an ancient relic. I remember it well, a strange diamond-shaped object floating in midair. But by the time we found it, we were at the limits of our endurance. As I lost consciousness, I was aware of someone approaching us. A small girl, perhaps. Between the snow and the encroaching darkness on my vision, it was hard to tell exactly what it was I saw. When we recovered, we were lying on the outskirts of Yosyonke. How we got there was a mystery. Our ship had been destroyed. And to this day, neither Blucher nor I have any recollection of how we got there. After that, several diggers tried to reach Forbidden Island, but none returned. How we were able to is a mystery that puzzles me even now. So that's probably why they didn't really tell anyone about it. The fact that they don't know how they got out, they don't want to send people to their deaths trying to follow in their footsteps, and also, they just don't remember much. Next up, Mega Man's Discovery. Mega Man's Discovery 1. Once a long time ago, I went to the ruins on Nino Island to do some research on the civilization that preceded ours. The ruins there are very dangerous, and are normally sealed off. I snuck inside without the Guildmaster's permission. Just inside the entrance, I found a strange diamond-shaped object. When I touched it, it fell apart. No, melted, and from inside there appeared a small child, a baby, and a monkey. Grammatically, a little bit unclear. There were not 3 things, there were 2. You've misused the Oxford comma. You should have used a dash after small child. Seeing as I had broken into the ruins without permission, I couldn't reveal where I'd found them. So I decided to raise the baby along with my granddaughter. Continued in Mega Man's Discovery Part 2. Mega Man's Discovery Part 2. I decided to call the baby I found Mega Man. Actually, it wasn't really my idea. It was my granddaughter, Roll, who chose that name. After one of her favorite video game characters. God damn it. Roll! I tried to get her to change her mind, but she insisted that that should be his name. At any rate, I raised him like he was my own. He was no different than any other boy. He quickly became part of our family. Fun! So Mega Man and Data were discovered in an ancient ruin on Nito Island. Just inside like a diamond? That's fun. I'm very curious to learn more about this. Catalox Island Part 1. These next two are going to be about the first game. Catalox Island Part 1. Last year, we explored Catalox Island, an island rich in resources. The island is riddled with ruins and tunnels, and a legendary treasure was said to be buried there. While we were there, we ended up fighting the Bonds, a family of pirates, who had come to Catalox looking for the legendary treasure. Although we defeated them a number of times, they continued to come after us. But Mega Man managed to hold them off every time. Although they talked big, their bark was worse than their bites. Looking back on it now, they were actually pretty amusing to watch. I'm sure that we'll run into them again somewhere. Continued in Catalox Island Part 2. Alright, Part 2 then. Catalox Island Part 2. While Mega Man was exploring the ruins on Catalox at the request of the Mayor Amelia, I saw something amazing. A large monolith descended from the sky over the island. I still don't know what it was, and I probably never will. All I know is that it had something to do with what was going on in the ruins. But the only person who knows the whole truth is Mega Man. Something tells me it may have had something to do with Mega Man's origins and what he was doing on Nino Island so many years ago. Interesting. So there's still things we don't know about that incident. I suppose that makes sense, but Beryl suspects there's a bit more connections than we anticipated. I guess Data did kind of hint as much at the end of the first game. Alright, finally the Digger's Manual. Professor Beryl's notes. Let's look over the definitions. What's a dig? Dig. To explore ancient ruins in order to recover artifacts and resources. An essential element in a successful dig is that the digger, who explores the ruins, and the spotter, who gives support from above ground, trust each other implicitly. Next up, about ruins. Ruins, ancient underground structures constructed by the ancients. These structures are filled with tools and machines of great value, but they are also dangerous places inhabited by fearsome guardians called Reaverbots. Next up, what are refractors? Refractors, a powerful source of energy found in ruins. Smaller refractors are used as currency, while larger ones are used to power machines and provide heat and light. And finally, about Reaverbots. Reaverbots, the guardians of the ruins, presumed to have been built by the ancients. Although their exact purpose remains unknown, they can be found in every ruin, and pose a great danger as they attack anyone entering those ruins. Alright, so presumably they're there to guard what's ever in the ruins. Lots of lore there, lots of backstory, very worthwhile. Next up, nothing there, but we do have a diary. There's a diary on the desk. It looks like it's pretty new. Do we want to read it? Of course. Received an unexpected letter from Blucher. He says he wants to try exploring Forbidden Island one more time. It's been over 30 years since our last unsuccessful attempt, but it looks like he hasn't been able to forget about that island. I thought he understood when I explained to him the dangers involved in pursuing his research, but it looks like he wasn't listening to me at all. I hear he spent the last of his fortune building a mammoth flying ship. I guess I have to accept the fact that no one, not even me, can stop him now. All I can do is hope that this wild adventure of Blucher's doesn't turn up any proof that my daughter and son-in-law did indeed die on that island. I don't know how Roll would react if she knew for certain they were gone. That's the only thing that's been keeping her going all these years. The reason she travels the world searching for the Motherlode. She's not really searching for the Motherlode, she's searching for her parents. I'm going to meet Blucher tomorrow. I don't know what will come of the meeting. But I can only hope for the best. That's the last entry in the diary. Alright. I mean, it does seem a little bit like Roll's on some level accepting that her parents may not have survived the island. Still, it would definitely be devastating to learn for a fact that they were dead. We found 5,000 zenny inside the bed. It must be what Gramps was saving for a rainy day, and we're stealing it. Alright, next up we have... There's an old letter inside the drawer. Do we want to read it? Let's read it. Dear Dad, I've got exciting news. We're going on an expedition to Forbidden Island, where you and Blucher went all those years ago. I remember you telling me when I was a little girl about your adventures there. About the snow and ice storms, and about the mysterious diamond in the sky protected by reaverbots. And the mysterious girl you saw as you blacked out. You know how I love a good mystery. Just thinking about seeing all those things for myself gives me goosebumps. Banner has designed a ship that he thinks can land on the island safely. We're going to test it tomorrow. We'll leave Roll at the neighbors while we're gone. If something should happen to us, please take care of Roll. Well, we're off. I'll tell you all about Forbidden Island when we get back. Love, Matilda. And that's the last he heard from her. Next up, we got 1,000 zenny inside this ship with a inside this dresser with a model of the ship Flutter. And finally, the professor seems to keep up with the latest fashions. Really, he's fashionable. Did not expect that, actually. Alright, next up we're going to head downstairs. There's a couple more things we can grab in here. We're done with most of the lore reading. This floor is extremely burned down by the, incident, so we're going to leave it be. And down on this floor, if we head in the left door, we'll find the engine room. Not too much here, just if we look in this panel, we found 2,000 zenny inside the panel. Nice. Yeah, brand new engine. Better last a lot longer than the old one. Alright, next up, we want to head down the hallway here. All the way through to the other room. And there's not too much to read in here, so we'll just go ahead and check around for... There's nothing of interest here. I've walked right through this crate. Here we go, found the Rapid Fire, which is a Mega Man Buster part. If we equip it, it will make our Buster Gun fire out a little bit faster. The Buster Gun has 4 primary stats: Attack, Energy, Range, and Rapid. Attack is, of course, how much damage you will do with each Buster Shot. We will get into the Buster Gun itself eventually. It's basically our basic weapon, our gun that's attached to our arm. But yeah, Attack will increase the amount of damage we do with each shot from our gun. Energy will increase how many shots we can fire at once. Range is how far the shots will go, and Rapid is how quickly we fire. Okay, I believe that is it for exploring the Flutter. There's one last thing we want to do before we go explore Yosyonke, and I promise we'll get some plot progress today. Before we head out though, we want to head up to the bridge, and we want to speak to Roll, because there's one thing we can take care of right now. Alright, hello Roll. Let's talk about repairing the Flutter. The living and storage rooms were damaged in the fire. We have to repair them. It'll cost 4,000 zenny to repair the damage to the living and storage rooms. Do you have any money? Yes, and I believe the longer it takes you to put out all the fires, the more expensive it will be. Thanks. We'll be able to use the living and storage rooms again once they're repaired. It is very highly recommended that you do this as soon as possible. It will pay off in a big way eventually, but for now, it'll take some time before the repairs are done. Alright then, let's head out. Hello, Roll. We should probably go to the local junk shop and look for parts first. Sounds like a plan. Then off we go. There's a nice sign leading the way saying junk shop this way. And it's just up the stairs on our left. Ain't no way you can do a dig, not with a body like that. Who'd take care of Maria if you get hurt? Don't go, Joe. Maria's been good to me, but I've got to do this. You're a pretty good mechanic, right? You can earn a good living fixing people's stuff. Maybe you just settle down for a while. Take it easy, you know? If something happens to me, you look after Maria and her daughter, okay? See you. Wait, Joe! They never listen. That person, I feel like I know him. Like I've met him somewhere before. Really? Yeah, a long, long time ago. Hi there, looking for something? Yes, we are. Do you have any parts that could be used to build the machine in this diagram? Huh? Well, I'll be. Are you two friends of Joe's? I don't think so. Why? Well, it's just that I've seen this before. In his lab. You know the little shed near the flying ship dock? That's his lab. Joe's working on something that looks just like this. Just like this there. Mega Man, that means this Joe must know my father. I've got to go talk to him. Roll, wait! Oh, huh. Maybe that's where you know him from. Maybe you recognize him as like a friend of your father's from years and years ago, back before your father ran off? Well, that's exciting. But before we go catch up with Roll, we have exploration to do in town. There's a few things to grab, a few things to pick up. First off, if we run around here, we can kick the can. A classic in Mega Man Legends tradition. Nice shot, we got 200 zenny. Unfortunately, kicking the can as a source of money has been horribly nerfed. But you just gotta kick it into the trash can to get your loot. Alright, let's check out the trash can for Mechanics Notes 1. There's a lot of difficult words in it. Maybe Roll can figure out what it says. Alright then, next up, let me check. Where are we going next? Alright, next up we want to head around to the northeast end of town because there is another trash can over there that we can check. Gonna be behind this building. We found 1,000 zenny. Nice. And what the heck are you? Some sort of toy duck? It quacks. I wonder what would happen if you kicked it into the trash can. I'm not gonna try. The duck seems like it'd be a lot more difficult to kick into the trash can. Especially since it slides if you touch it, so... yeah, I'm not gonna bother with that, but you can try it. Please report back to me if it does anything. Next up, heading into this house, we can pester them and maybe steal their stuff. When the ruins outside of town were closed, a lot of people here left for Forbidden Island, looking for new digs. My husband was one of them. We found the broken vacuum. Neat. I am very sorry about your husband. I hope you're doing well. There's paper on the table. Is it like a letter? It seems like we can't read it. Alright, broken vacuum is the main thing we wanted in here. That will become very useful in due time. Next up, you are going to have some lore for us. Do you know the legend of the goddesses? Sorry, of the goddess singular? No, I don't. Two goddesses, the same yet different. One goddess to rule the heavens above, one to rule the earth below. She of the earth guards the key. She of the sky guards the record of the ages. When the sky goddess lifts up her voice, all shall end and all shall begin. What do you think? Interesting little story, isn't it? Interesting indeed. And this, not lock on. There we go. This must be the goddess. Interesting. Alright, let's go kick the can again. It's not a lot of money. It did get nerfed a lot, but it's still money. Hey! Rude. I got it first try earlier, and now I'm struggling. Oh dear. Well, this sucks. There we go. We got 200 zenny. All right, next up. How many houses are in the area? You're gonna force me to stay really zoomed out, aren't you? Okay, well. Let's check out this house next. All right, what do we have here? This is the house Von Blucher grew up in. Really? Interesting. When they were little, Von Blucher and his friends were very interested in the story of the goddesses. He thought the Earth Goddess was sleeping on Forbidden Island. Oh, interesting. Okay, there's something here, but I can't tell what it is. It kind of looks like the Ice Climbers to me. Or maybe just somebody in a parka. That would make a lot more sense. There are a lot of books about Forbidden Island lined up. Let me guess, same over here? Biographies of famous explorers. They must be Blucher's. So Blucher's house is just now like basically a museum. You gotta go in and explore. Neat. Very neat. Alright, next up we've got... Oh, there's a lot of houses around here. You know what? I don't think we need to explore all of them. Train station. Like a little shed. Trespassers keep out. We'll deal with this building eventually. Then I guess there's 2 more places we want to check. After I kick the can again, of course. We're going to be doing a lot of can kicking. I'll do most of it off screen, but we're going to be doing a lot of that. All right, we've got a bar over here. All right, hello, what do we got? She looks sober, but she's had a few, so don't pay too much attention to her. The barmaid? Really? She's drinking on the job? It's hard loving a man who's lost his memory. Oh! Okay, I remember who this is now. We'll learn more about her in due time. We will learn a lot more about her in due time. I forgot she works at the bar. Alright, hopping up here, looks like it's locked. We can't go in the back entrance. But we can go in the back entrance of the junk shop. Hello there. Whoa, don't sneak up on me like that. That door is for staff only. Say there, little fella. Do you like fossils? I do. You do? Well then, I've got something you just might be interested in. You want it? Sure. Well then, here you go. We got a Reaverbot Claw. This will be involved in a side quest much later in the game, but we might as well get it now while we're here. Alright, one more building to check out, and then I'm going to be doing a bunch of money grinding off screen. Alright, hello there! This is the general shop. Lots of stuff here. It is literally just like a little corner market. Think 7-Eleven. And hey, we've got a poster of Zero here, which means Mega Man X is a popular series here. Which probably means that Mega Man Walnut was named for Mega Man X, for Maverick Hunter Mega Man X. Anyways, general shop. You're a digger, aren't you? Get out. There's nothing here for people like you. Oh dear. Alright, I'm leaving. That was unexpected. That was very unexpected. Alright, all we have left to do now before we go meet up with Roll to go find Joe's workshop is I need to grind out a bunch of money. I need to hit, let's see. I need 5,500 more zenny. Wish me luck, I'll be back. Alright, so my goal was 11,700 zenny. We are 100 away, which means one more can kick. And it took a lot longer than it should have, because I discovered something awful. I still have 11,600. So, the pop-up message that says you got 200 zenny, you don't get the 200 zenny until that message disappears naturally. And unfortunately, the message takes a very, very long time to disappear normally. You can make it disappear quicker by mashing buttons, but I wasn't sure if that was just a placebo effect or not, so I spent some time experimenting to be sure. And yeah, if you don't press buttons, if you're not mashing buttons, it takes minutes for that message to go away. But if you do mash buttons, then the message will go away pretty quickly. We'll see once I can actually manage to get the damn can in. I normally can aim this properly. There we go. Alright. Message is gonna go away pretty quickly here. There we go. Normally, if you don't mash buttons, it takes like over a minute. I timed it. It's ridiculous. Anyways, got all the money we need. Hopefully that should be the only time we ever have to kick the can in the entire game, because we're going to have much better sources of money grinding soon enough. And now, before we go find Joe's workshop, let's buy out everything at the junk shop. My throat's doing the thing again. Give me just a moment. It's not like my throat's literally closing up. It's just like a weird congestion that happens, and I don't know where it comes from. It's very annoying, and it seems to be seasonal, I think? So, who knows? Alright, let's go ahead and grab ourselves the normal armor. Increases defense and guards against knockdown. That knockdown defense being the more important thing. Not being knocked down during battle is very useful. We can also get the Power Razor, which increases our Buster Gun's attack by 2. Turbocharger increases our energy by 2, and Range Booster increases our range by 2. Very useful parts. We're going to want to equip one of those. Next up, we're going to grab the rollerboard. This will be very useful pretty quickly. We're going to grab the bionic parts. One bionic parts is one upgrade to our max health. And we're going to buy the energy canteen. And the energy canteen is useful because if we take damage during battle, we can use it in our items menu to restore some of our health. Anyways, our max health has now gone up from 5 to 6 on that bar on the far right. So that is wonderful. Now let's go ahead and equip Buster parts. Let's see, we got Power Racer is going to be really good, and generally if you want to play a bit more safely, if you're inexperienced at this game, or if you haven't played a Mega Man Legends game in several years like me, you may want to equip Range Booster. Lets you fight enemies from a little bit further away, making it a little bit safer. But other than that, Rapid Fire is pretty good for increasing the amount of damage you're doing every second. So this is good for damage output, this is good for safety, and this will be more useful. Energy will be more useful when we already have Rapid up a little bit. We're going to go with Range Booster because I have not played a Legends game in a few years, and I will admit that I am a little bit rusty. Nothing wrong with that, I just need to play a little bit more safe. Anyways, that was a lot of money grinding I just did. And half of it was wasted because I didn't think to check more frequently and realize, hey, my money's not going up. What's up with that? Anyways, the warehouse near the flying ship dock is this one right here, so Roll must be right there. Hello. Mega Man, I was thinking, what if there's more than just the dropship schematics? What if there's something else in my father's here? Something that could lead me to him. But what if he's already dead? I don't know what I'd do if I found out he's dead. I mean, no reason to give up hope yet. This is harsh. This is probably the... If this was phrased better, I think this would be the better option. This feels a little insensitive. I want to keep hope up, but also be realistic. It's been 10 years and he went to Forbidden Island. He could very well be dead, but that's no reason to give up hope. At the very least, we can find out what happened to him. We're gonna try and keep hope up, though. Even if this feels cruel, this feels harsh. I don't like either option. Don't worry, he's alive! Definitely. Thanks, Mega Man. Can't give up hope, right? Alright then, let's go. It's just like the blueprint. Maybe my father is here somewhere. Who are you? If you're looking for my dad, he's not here. He went to the ruins. Dad? You mean Joe? That's my dad. Well, he will be soon anyway. Mom says once he goes to the Forbidden Island and comes back, he'll be my dad. Wow! Oh my god, that's harsh. That sounds like she doesn't love him and wants him dead and gone. My god. Say, is there anyone named Casket living here? No, I've never heard of anyone named Casket. What? But what does that mean, Mega Man? I was so sure he was here. I mean, it's possible that Joe is an old friend of your father's and just hasn't mentioned him since it's been 10 years. Let's find Joe and talk to him. He can probably answer your questions. I guess you're right. This is the closest I've gotten to my parents. Come on. Yeah, even if it seems like a dead end right now, we can't give up. There's definitely something here. There's definitely a lead here, so we'll keep investigating. Come on, Mega Man. We should go to the ruins as soon as possible. Alright, sounds good. I already told you, my dad's gone to the ruins. I'm kind of mad at your mother for saying he has to go to Forbidden Island to be your father. That's fucked. Come on, Mega Man, let's go. Alright, let's get going, but before we head off to the ruins to find Joe, we've been running around town and doing a lot of reading and learning and exploring and digging up other people's stuff. What do you say next time on Mega Man Legends 2, we head out to find Joe? Before we wrap up, I do want to say data here is going to be how you save your game, and also how you heal up your energy. So it's always worth saving him whenever you see him around. Anyways, I'll go ahead and take care of that on my own time. Next time on Mega Man Legends 2, we're chasing down Joe to make sure he's safe. God, I wish I could stop with Mega Man facing the camera, but he always automatically faces away from the camera. That's very annoying. I'll see everyone next time as we go on a Joe hunt.